Hello everyone, and welcome to the first US car test drive video. Today we'll be driving a 2013 Chevy Cruz. And before we get driving, we're going to take a quick look out the outside of the vehicle, and then we'll take a quick look on the inside, and then we'll take it for a test drive. So, first, as you can see, we have aluminum wheels, aluminum rims, with moderate tires. At the back of the car, we have your normal brake lights, and as you can see here, the badge, Cruz. You got your normal brake lights, nothing special, no LED. As you see here, this is the trunk. This is how big it is. Plenty of room to fit, well, one of me. Now as we take a walk onto the other side of the car, as you can see, the fuel tank is on the wrong side. I don't know what Chevy's idea was here, but I guess for whatever reason, it seems to be easier to fill the car. And as you see here, we have the antenna for your radio and stuff, and as we take a walk to the other front side of the car, we have our normal windscreen, our windshield wipers, our luminescent lights, so nothing special, original, nothing special, and, well, the bow tie. So, I'm going to fire the car up after we take a look on the interior. So this is the interior of the car. As you can see, we have our window controls, our electric mirror controls. Over here we have our light controls. So we have auto, and then our parking lights and our normal lights. Our dash cluster controls for how bright or how dim you want your dash cluster to be. On the steering wheel, we have our cruise control controls here. Our resume and set, and over here we have cancel, which is being covered by steering wheel cover. Over here, phone controls, volume control, and I have no idea what that is. Anyways, then we have our radio controls and our climate controls down here. Obviously our gear box compartment for the transmission. Our parking brake, emergency parking brake, or as I like to call it, the drift brake. And up here we have our electronic radio dash display and our dash cluster display and our windshield wiper controls. So, as I get the vehicle started, my cameraman will walk around and come into the other side. So, as you can see here, it's pretty, it's kind of claustrophobic but roomy. So we now put the car in reverse, and we also have our four-way indicators here. Now as we slowly back out, you can see the electronic display here for speed and the radio dash cluster display here. Now, this is a American-built brand, 100%. And as we take it out onto the highway here and put it into drive, the first thing I'm going to say I like about this car is the auto-locking doors, for one. And number two, the comfortability of how the car rides. Now, this car only gets at least 20 to 22 gallons per gallon in town, but outside of town on a motorway, this car will get at least 32 to probably 35 miles per gallon. It responds pretty well. I mean, it doesn't really have much of a delay in the motor from the throttle to the actual motor, but there is a tiny delay Just a tiny, but not much. So as we take the car over to the highway, as you can see, the braking is fine, the control to the car is fine, the dash cluster lights up great, so you can actually see, and plus with the auto light feature, you don't really have to worry about turning lights on and off, except for they don't work as good as most people want them to, especially when it comes to like rainstorms and stuff. You know, sometimes they don't work, but right now it's working great. So it's not a bad car, but it's not also the perfect car either, because the space between the passengers back there, if you take a look on how small the actual area is. Now, I can understand kids, you know, perfect for kids, but a grown man, like my cameraman, who stands at least 6'2", he won't fit back there very well. But, other than that flaw, and the stiff suspension, it's not a bad car. Now, horsepower-wise, I'm gonna guess is at least 234 horsepower underneath this motor. This motor is made by GM, which is Chevy, and it's responding great. I mean, no flaws. You can hear it rev up. You know, take a look at the dash cluster and look on this next thing and take a look at the dash cluster, and it should be great. And the signaling's great. I mean, everything in this car works how it's supposed to. Cruise control works great, except for we're in town, so we don't really need to use it. And we really don't have a motorway to use for this car. So, we'll just deal with what we got. But, from what I can tell you from experience on driving this car on the motorway, it's great. It's comfortable. There's nothing wrong with it. The only time I get claustrophobic with this car, or I get nervous, is when a semi is passing you on the motorway. So, like, you know, the interstate or something. Because the car is so small, it's easy to, you know, destroy, you know, squish, break, whatever. So, we're going to head straight down to a gravel road and test the handling on the car. See how well it handles. And then after that, we're going to go back to where we started. I'll inform you more on how the car worked and performed. And then, after that, we'll explain a little more on the car, and then we'll be done. So, we are now approaching the gravel road, as my cameraman will show you. This is the gravel road we're going to be driving on. So, we're doing at least 32 miles an hour, and all you can hear is gravel. But you can't tell the difference. Like, I can let go of the steering wheel, and the car literally drives itself. Don't do that in real life, people. And we can make it look good on TV, but don't do it in real life. So, now that we're getting to a stop on gravel, we'll see how well the braking does. It's a little slippy there, but not terrible. Now, if I can just get around this corn and see what the heck is going. Okay, we're good. Now, we're going to have a little dip. Barely noticeable. It's like driving a Volkswagen, except for better, because it's more comfortable. And, you know, Chevy makes a good car. They don't make a great truck. Oh, you can feel it getting a little loose and wobbly there. It's not bad. It's comfortable. It's great. It's a great vehicle. I mean, price range for one of these is probably $23,000. New or used, I'm pretty sure. Used. $23,000 used. I'm pretty sure. So, it's not a bad car. to be honest, it's like the most comfortable car I've driven out of all the vehicles I've been in, because I'm going to compare this car to a Pontiac Grand Prix. Yes, this is newer. It's 2013. The Pontiac Grand Prix I've drove was 2007-ish. But this car has better clearance, even though it doesn't look like it. It's much more comfortable, easier to drive, probably handles better in snow. It's a great car. Pontiac Grand Prix sucks in snow. Their rims, because GM makes the same aluminum rims on a Pontiac as on this car. They're made out of the same aluminum material, and Pontiac rims suck ass. They leak, and it's terrible. This car, it's great. And it's got 1,306 miles on it, and it runs great. So, I have nothing really bad to say about the car. The radio controls work great. The windshield wiper controls work great. The indicator controls work smoothly. The cruise control works great. Everything works in this car. The only thing that doesn't work the best, and this is the only thing I can complain about, is the auto lights, because they don't always turn on when you want them to. So now as we approach the lot, or the driveway as I should say, and get ready to finish this video up with the car, as my cameraman will show you, the gear selectors thing here works great. You push this button in, it's smooth. It's the smoothest thing I've ever touched. This is the key fob. Easiest thing in the world. So, now, we'll get out of the car, talk a little more, and then we will be done with this. Everything in this car works exactly how most people want it to. For the price range of $23,000, it's cheap for new-ish. I mean, it's 13, but it's newish. It's newer than most cars, and it runs great. It is the most sorry for my words here. It is the most reliable car I have driven so far. And for my first ever actual video for this American test driving video thing that I'm starting, it's a great car. So, there's nothing more that I really can say about it, but so we'll end the video with a good walk around by the car, and then we'll end the video. So